Going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and today we're taking another look at the DG Home 1, but this time we're going to take a look at a tool that gives you the ability to actually overclock your miner and undervolt your miner for a better efficiency here. It also answers and solves all the issues I had in my very first video about the power always remaining on, as it does add a sleep mode. Let's take a look at this. So I do want to point out, I did learn about this tool from a comment in my original, or I guess the new firmware video of the DG Home 1 from melb11111. They asked if I download the firmware that has sleep mode. Now, it's not firmware, it's actually a tool. And here we have RathoX here, the tool where you find the miner's IP. It's handy, can do different things with the tool, yada, yada, yada. So this is a tool to utilize for it. But I do want to point out, this is where I actually heard about this because I didn't even know it was a thing. All right, so step number one here, let's find the tool. And the first thing you got to do is you just go to the Elphapex website, go to support, and then go to technical support right here. Click on that, and now you're going to see tools, manual, everything. I'm just going to click on tools here, and you can see the Elphapex tool 1.0.1, and just download this file right here, and it'll get you to your tool. All right, so once you do download that, extract it, and you'll have to find the application right here and simply double click on it like so. Now we are inside of that tool. Now to set this up, it's pretty simple here. All you got to do is click on auto import. It'll bring a bunch of IP lists here. As you can see, it'll start at 192.168.1.0 and go all the way up to 192.168.1.255. So it'll go through all those lists of IPs on there. If you have over 255 devices, then you're going to have to kind of adjust it on your own. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do a quick scan here. It's doing a scan. It's going to run through all the IPs of all those. There did found two normal ones because I do have my Wi-Fi as well as my normal one linked. Now I like to run the monitor here because it runs lots of things. As we can see, it's also reading our power, where in the normal dashboard, if I can bring that up right quick, see if I can find it right here, there's nowhere that shows us our power consumption or anything. Obviously, it's always best to look at the wall, but it's nice that this actually shows the power here. Now, to kind of compare that versus what we are actually at the wall, I am actually using about 631 watts. So it's not identical. It is off a little bit, but you can see you have a rough idea of what your power may be, but it isn't accurate. Now up top, there's a whole bunch of different settings here. You can go to settings here and you can set how monitor interval level. So update every 15 seconds. You can put it down to 5 seconds, 1 second, whatever you do want to do. I'm not going to adjust any of that because the only thing that really matters, that's the most important here, is this part right here, work mode, power save, normal, sleep, and overclock. So I'm going to try the power save mode and the overclock mode, and we're going to kind of test our power consumptions and our hash rates and see what it actually looks like. But I also obviously here do like monitor mode, where right now you can see it is updating every 15 seconds with your average hash rate, your real-time hash rate, your temperature limits are here. And remember, if you're on Wi-Fi, I have both my LAN and my Wi-Fi plugged in. It's recommended if you are on Wi-Fi, just to make things easier on you, unplug your LAN cable, but I didn't have my Wi-Fi active at the time, so then I did activate it, and I just had a whole bunch of stuff going on, so I still got them both on, but regardless, they're both showing up here. So now I'm just going to come into here, we're going to go into work mode, and I'm going to put this into power save mode. So I did just click power save mode. I do want to point out, the first time I ran this tool and detected my miner kind of froze, and I actually had to reboot it from within the dashboard. So within here, nothing was going on. I hit the refresh button. It told me to come back in, log in and stuff again. I hit the reboot, and then everything was fine. All these numbers here and everything was black and blank. And if you have that issue, just try to do a quick reboot and everything will work as is. All right, so you can see I am now in low work mode here, which is power save mode, low power mode. So what you do is here, you click on the check mark for work mode, select the one that you want, come on up and hit config cell, SCL. So this stands for config selected. I have the little check mark beside this one, and it changed it over to that, and it adjusted everything as needed. Once you do that, if you come into your dashboard, you can see it's not rebooting, but it just did an abnormal. It's like you had a fresh restart. So now it's loading everything up again. And you're going to have to give it, you know, a minute or two before it finally starts getting its connection and everything all over again. It is now beginning to start to use power here. We don't have any hash rates yet, but things are happening. So now we're just going to wait a little bit until we get some hash rates. I'll check the power at the wall and see what things are looking like. All right, guys. So it has been about 45 minutes of uptime here. So let's take a look at kind of our hash rates currently and our power consumption. So our average hash rate over the past 45 minutes is about 1.3 gigahash here. Software for power is telling us about 376 watts. At the wall, we were in fact about 393 watts. And we can see fan RPM. So we are running, you know, decent amount more efficient. We are about 700 mega hash shy of 2.1 in the normal here. We can see our normal was 2.1. So not too bad. We lost some hash rate, gained quite a bit of efficiency. We'll look at all the numbers side by side at the end of this video here. Another reason why this is more efficient is because it's not running so hot. The fans don't have to spin as fast. That's another thing you got to keep in mind. It's not just the chips that are running at less power and less hash rate. We're also running the fans slower due to the fact that it's not as hot, adding to that efficiency. All right, as for our overclock testing here, we do have, and remember, these are preset overclocks within it. I don't think you can adjust voltages or anything on your own. It's probably a good thing because people might melt stuff. Anyway, we have an uptime now of slightly over an hour, of 1 hour, 13 minutes. We do see an average hash rate of about 2.3 gigahash, so not too bad. We're up about 200 mega hash from normal mode there. And we can see that we are sitting at about 697 watts, 696, 697 here. At the wall, we are at 717 watts, and we can see our fans here maxed out pretty much at 1500 RPM. All right, so now just kind of the concern I had in my very first video, which was the only issue with this miner, is that it always maintained full power when you remove the pool or anything, so you couldn't unplug it unless you're, you know, you wanted to shock it or possibly short it out. If you got a, you know, something bad could happen because it could short out when you go to unplug it because it's at full power. You know, there's nothing you could do to remove that unless you had it on a power switch. So, you know, you'd have to take extra steps setting this up on its own switch and stuff and so on. But now it does have a sleep mode with this. So I'm going to try sleep mode and see if it actually works. All right. So it has been about 5 minutes in sleep mode. Obviously, there's no uptime or nothing because we aren't mining, but it is saying we are using about 34 watts here in the software. No hash rate or anything because we're not mining here. But at the wall, we are using about 50 watts. So that's obviously a lot better than the full 600 watts plus that we saw usually trying to shut this thing off if you needed to move it in the past. So sleep mode does seem to be doing its job. All right, so now let's take a look doing here. So coming into the efficiency setting, we're about 1.3 gigahash or 1300 megahash at 393 watts at the wall. That is a mega hash per watt ratio. So 3.3, that is 3.3 megahash per 1 watt of power here. Moving on to the DG Home 1 overclocked, we're getting 2.3 gigahash, 2300 megahash at 717 watts. The efficiency isn't actually that much less, coming in at 3.2 megahash per watt here. And coming in just straight up normal mode, the DG1 Home normal, 2.1 gigahash, 631 watts. That was 3.32. Actually, normal mode is more efficient than efficiency mode. So that's actually kind of interesting here. Now coming in to see, you know, profitabilities and everything based on this. Current revenue in efficiency mode would be about $1.59. On OC mode here, this is $2.86. Remember, these are numbers without power costs included. And DG Home 1 in normal mode is $2.58. Now at 11-cent power with your power costs, you can see them here. It's about $1.03 for efficiency mode to run per day, $1.89 if you're OCing, and $1.66 running in normal mode. For profit, 11 cent per kilowatt hour, we can see 55 cent profit in efficiency mode, 96 cent profit in OC mode, and 91 cent profit in normal mode. So it is looking like even though you are running a bit less efficient, the higher hash rate is a better benefit in terms of profitability, as after power costs, you are making a bit more. So I can adjust this. I have it set up here. Let's move up to 12-cent power. Let's see if it kind of runs the same way. It looks like OC mode here is still making more at 12-cent power. Let's jump this up to 15-cent power here. We can see, oh, now things are starting to change. Normal mode at 15-cent power is making more money now at this point. We can see we're now using $2.58 worth of power if you have 15-cent power running that OC mode. Let's jump this up to maybe 18 cents, see what that tells us here. And we are negative on both. So where's kind of break-even power price to even consider looking at this miner? There's 16 cents. Let's go 17 cents. So yeah, it's looking like normal mode here is half a cent profit at 17 cents. So obviously if you have 17-cent power or something, it's not looking good at even looking at this miner at all. So 12-cent stuff obviously is not bad. A lot of people have pretty expensive power these days. Let me know down in the comments section what your power price is and if you've kind of been looking into purchasing this miner, because right now we see it. If you're at 17-cent plus, this thing is not making you anything. All right, guys, that pretty much does wrap up this video. And if you guys are looking for any type of ASIC mining hardware, I heard you to use that link down in the description. Code Rabid will grant you $70 off your order to Crypto Miner Bros. Right here, they got every single ASIC miner that you could possibly hope and dream of at your disposal. All right, guys, so what are your thoughts and opinions on this tool to help overclock it, add sleep mode, or even undervolt or have an efficiency mode on your miner there? Let me know what you think about this. And it is looking like overclocking is more profitable depending on your power price than it is for running more efficient and so on. And between efficiency and normal mode, it's not really looking like it's even worth going into efficiency mode, as normal mode is actually more efficient. So that's kind of an interesting find I found there right now. So thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.